watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 5th meeting for the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. I'll call this Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for Monday, May 5th, 2025 to order. And we'll begin with a roll call. Mr. Simmons.
Present.
Ms. Tisdale.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Present.
Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. York is here, and Attorney Beal.
Present.
All right. Our first order of business today is approval of minutes from our regular hybrid Zoom meeting on April 21st, 2025. Are there any edits or additions or things in any edits to this?
I-
Go ahead.
I just have one edit for you on request for stop sign under with Colin Kahn. On the second page, on third page, you have him as Colin Cash. So I wasn't sure. So with that correction.
I believe it's Colin Kahn. Good. We'll just make that. So here are there any other? That's the only one that was pointed out to me. Everything else looks fine to me. To hear a motion, maybe include that edit.
Motion to approve with the edits being taken care of. Clerk.
Second.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Miss Tisdale,
Aye.
Miss Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right. Next order of business is approval of minutes from a special meeting on Monday, April 28th, 2025. Has everyone had time to review that? It was a pretty short one.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Miss Tisdale,
Aye.
Miss Smith,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. All right. I'm going to move Shannon from our parks department up to the beginning. So she has a very important deadline to meet today, and if that would be okay with the board. Okay, she's going to give us an update on all the special events, and rather than waiting till the end, it makes sense to move her. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for moving me up. Shannon Eason, park superintendent. So I'm here to read the events that we have booked as of today for the months of June and July. There's 42 events in June and 44 in July. So I'm going to go through them very quickly, but stop me if you have questions on them. So our first event is June 2nd, Big Mike's Food Truck. That's from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Lot 1, or the main lot of Washington Park. Tuesday, June 3rd, from 5 to 8 p.m., City Party on the Plaza. This is going to be a weekly event every Tuesday, but it's going to move around. So the first one will be at North Point, and we're showing a movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. On Thursday, June 5th, Michigan City Municipal Band Concert begins their concert series for the year. That's at 7:30 p.m. I will remind people, the Parks Department offers a $4 parking fee from 7 p.m. on for the band concerts. So you don't need to pay the $20 to get in if you don't have a sticker. Friday, the 6th, 5:30 p.m. is Bike the City. Also that Friday is Live at the Lakefront, Bob Seger Tribute Band at Millennium Plaza. On the 7th, we have the EVP Beach Volleyball Tournament in Washington Park. Also on the 7th, Brew at the Zoo, Also on the 7th, another Live at the Lakefront concert in the End Lincoln Park Experience. On the 11th, we have our bucket golf tour at Water Tower Park. This is a new program, so it's portable golf buckets. You play 9 holes. It takes about 3 hours. It's $5 to play, and that will move around different parks throughout the city with a tournament at the end of the year. On Thursday, the 12th, we have Paint and Pour at Memorial Park. June 12th, another Muni Band concert. The 13th, live at the Lakefront, the Boy Band Night. The 14th, EVP Beach Volleyball Tournament. Also on the 14th is Pride Fest at the Amphitheater. Also on the 14th, Washington Park's Zoo Night Zoofari. That's an evening event that we started last year, and it's pretty cool. It's a different experience than going during the day. On the 14th, live at the Lakefront, tribute to Nirvana. On the 15th, EVP Beach Volleyball. On the 16th, Washington Park Zoo, Father's Day. Fathers get in free with one paid admission with a child. On the 16th, Big Mike's Food Truck in Washington Park. The 16th through the 19th is Zoo Camp at Washington Park Zoo. On Tuesday, the 17th, City Party on the Plaza, North Point Pavilion. That's also a movie, The Princess Bride. On June 19th, Juneteenth event in Washington Park at the Amphitheater. Also that night is the Muni Band concert. On the 20th, Bike the City event. Also that night, live at the Lakefront. On Saturday, the 21st, we have the Kitty Parade on Franklin Street. Also EVP Beach Volleyball Tournament down in Washington Park, and another live at the Lakefront concert. That one's the Dave Matthews Band. On Sunday, the 22nd, we also have EVP Beach Volleyball Tournament. We start another round of zoo camps, June 23rd through the 26th. June 24th, another City Party on the Plaza at North Point Pavilion. On Thursday, the 26th, the fourth Muni Band concert of the year. On the 27th, we have another Zoo Stroller Safari. This is a top program during the day. Friday, the 27th, live at the Lakefront. The 28th, Saturday, is our Patriotic Parade on Franklin Street. We also have EVP Beach Volleyball that day. On the 29th, I'm not sure what this one is. That's a duplicate of our parade, sorry. 28th is live at the Lakefront. 29th, EVP Beach Volleyball. The 30th, Mike's Food Truck again in Washington Park. This year, the days that our concession stand at North Point are closed. We're bringing in different food trucks, and we're trying to rotate them in different areas, Senior Center lot, main lot. So we don't want to compete with our restaurant, but we want to offer something when they're closed. So again, on this, going into July, Tuesday the 1st is food trucks. Also Party on the Plaza. This one's at 7th Street, showing the movie The Goonies. July 3rd, Bike the City, also the Muni Band concert. July 4th, we have a beach volleyball tournament and our fireworks in Washington Park. The following Sunday, the 5th, we have another beach volleyball tournament, live at the Lakefront concert, tribute to Billy Joel and Elton John. Sunday, the 6th, EVP Beach Volleyball. Monday through Thursday, that's July 7th through 10th, we have another round of zoo camps that start. Tuesday, July 8th, City Party on the Plaza. It's a music event at the 7th Street Plaza, but the bands haven't been booked yet. Tuesday, the 8th, Paper Football League at Memorial Park. The 10th, Paint and Pour at Memorial Park. The 10th, Muni Band concert. 11th and 12th, live at the Lakefront concerts. 12th through the 13th, we have beach volleyball tournaments going on, along with soccer in the sand, both in Washington Park. The 13th, Running Wild for the Zoo 5K in Washington Park. Another round of zoo camps July 14th through 17th. On the 15th, food trucks again, and also City Party on the Plaza. Spider-Man movie at 7th Street. Also Paper Football League that day at Memorial Hall. On the 17th, we have a bucket golf tour at Pullman Park and a Muni Band concert at the Amphitheater. Friday, the 18th is Bike the City event, also live at the Lakefront concert. The following day on the 19th, beach volleyball tournaments, live at the Lakefront. Sunday, the 20th, beach volleyball. Monday through Thursday, July 21st through 24th, zoo camp programs. July 22nd, City Party on the Plaza. That'll be a music event on 7th Street. Tuesday, the 22nd, we have our Paper Football League at Krieger Memorial Park. A band concert on the 24th. Tot Safari stroller program at the zoo on the 25th, as well as live at the Lakefront that evening at Millennium. Sunday, the 26th, beach volleyball tournament, live at the lakefront concert. Sunday, the 27th, beach volleyball. Monday through Thursday, July 28th through 31st, zoo camps. Tuesday, the 29th, city party on the plaza, movie The Sandlot. 29th, also paper football league. The 30th through the 31st is our Great Lakes Grand Prix event in Washington Park. And also on the 31st is the Muni Band concert at the amphitheater. So in total, that's 86 events in 2 months. So lots going on in Michigan City.
So there should be something for some people to do just about every night. And you guys have been really busy.
And all over the city.
I-
We're really spreading stuff out to our neighborhoods.
I
so.
like that part. I also like the creativity that you and Will put into some of the things that paper football. That's awesome.
It's
So
fun.
it's awesome. Thank you.
I'm terrible at it.
Questions for Miss Eason? Questions from the board?
I'm sorry, what day was the Sandlot?
Man,
That's the one you picked out, huh? Yeah.
that's a great movie. It's Tuesday, July 29th. 7th Street Plaza, 5 to 8 PM. I'm assuming the movie will start
Awesome.
around 6 or 6:30.
Thank you.
Awesome. Wow. You guys have been really busy. Thank you for putting all that together. It makes our city wonderful. Any further questions? You guys good? All righty. Thank you for the update. All right. Thank you for letting Ms. Eason go first, and on to our regular scheduled agenda. Our next order of business is request to solicit bids. This is a request for approval to solicit demolition bids for the following addresses: 901 Manhattan Street, Michigan City, Indiana 46360; 904 Elston Street, Michigan City, Indiana 46360; 120 West Custer Ave, Michigan City, Indiana 46360. Good morning, Ms. Vanderborg.
Good morning, board. It's just that we're just asking to solicit for bids to get these houses down. So I'm requesting to get bids.
Okay. Attorney Bill, anything else we need to do, or do we need a vote to allow them to solicit?
The only thing I would add is that, 901 Manhattan Street, Attorney LePage had a conversation with a potential investor on Friday, who I think is going to be in contact with Christine in case there is a viable plan to remove that property from the demolition order, but if there's not, then
We'll continue forward. Mhm.
So is she still going to, you're still going to go through the motions of solicitation in preparation that the plan isn't viable, I assume?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Any questions of Ms. Vanderborg about any of these properties, or do I hear?
Was this the gentleman from Illinois that showed up for?
No, this is no.
Oh,
No, these are three
are-
properties that we had approved demolition on
In November.
in November.
Yeah, and these are near the school, the
Marquette.
Marquette School.
Any other questions of Mr. Vanderborg? Okay, do I hear a motion from the board?
motion to approve.
Here a second.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Next order of business is a contract. This is a request for approval of the third amendment of the lease of 113 Warren Road, Michigan City, Indiana, to American National Red Cross for 3 years in the amount of $2,733.33 to be paid to the Michigan City. To be paid to the city of Michigan City each calendar year. Mr. Beal, have you reviewed this contract and you're okay with it?
I haven't, yes, it's
Okay.
good.
Excellent. Is there anyone here from the Legion or the Red Cross, or anyone representing them? Please. Some people may not know that even that we even do this with them.
Yeah,
Do a little
the
background.
property there at 113 Warren Road is city-owned property. We essentially just lease space to them to use for the American Red Cross. The building is essentially occupied by emergency management. And again, they just essentially lease space from us for their purposes as well. It's been ongoing for several years since we obtained the property.
Yeah, I believe they store some of their rescue stuff
Correct,
there,
yes.
relief things there,
Yep.
just in case there was
So, yeah.
something bad happened.
Yep, I think it's just the renewal of that lease that's been ongoing for several years.
Any questions of the board?
No, this is the old unoccupied fire station,
Correct.
correct? Originally for
Yes.
those
Yes.
older people out there listening in.
Yep.
Over 20 years, I can say that. Yeah, it was never a fire station in my time.
Yes, Ms. Smith.
It's the lease is just $1 a month, but they also share in the utility cost, and they pay like a third of it, a utility cost, which is the $2,733. So it's really fair.
Okay, that seems pretty fair.
Yeah.
For the services they provide. Any further questions? Do I hear a vote? Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about some public? I'll open it up for public comment. I apologize. Public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item? Okay, I'll close public comment. Do I hear a motion on this item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next order of business is a contract request for approval of contract for onboarding Intra ID and Intune for management in the amount not to exceed $17,700. Mr. Mechanic, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Andrew Mechanic, Technology and Facilities. Here today to request approval of a contract that has been reviewed by Attorney LePage for the amount of $17,700. This contract is going to be utilized to basically modernize our connections with Microsoft, which is the Microsoft Office 365 that we use for our email and for our Office suite, and to make sure that everything is up to date and working correctly. The reason we are bringing in an expert in this is because when we put in Office 365, we were one of the first municipalities in the nation to do so. We're the third in the nation to do so. And so some of the things that were done almost 13 years ago need to be looked at in our configuration. And we need the experts of a company like this to be able to assist us, because certain things that were done when we first implemented were different than what a lot of other municipalities and other organizations have done, because we're right at the beginning. This company here, Agile IT, is the one that we have worked with and had a relationship with for over 13 years. And they are very familiar with our environment. They have helped us over the years when we didn't need them, and only a very few times, but we have had to call them, and they are very familiar. And I know that it'll be a very efficient and accurate implementation, where we're not going to have the configuration challenges of having other vendors that are completely new to our environment.
Will this help? What are some of the things that we'll be able? I use 360. I use some of the things on 365, SharePoint, things like that.
Yeah, so what it's going to do mainly is we're going to go ahead and look at different types of connectivity ways back to the city, where for security matters, it's going to be more, I don't think the end users are going to notice it much. It's going to be more of a back end upgrade that's going to help us just become more secure.
Protection,
Things of that. And then the reason it's going to be mainly for security, and hence that's why the 17,700 will be paid out of ARPA fund that was earmarked for cybersecurity. And so this has already been funded through ARPA for this, with specifically for security, cybersecurity.
Excellent. Any questions of Mr. Mechanic from the board? Any questions from the board?
Is this, excuse me, Andy, is this just a 1-year how does that work?
No, this contract right here is a one-time fixed fee to go ahead and go through our entire network. I don't want to get in a whole bunch of details put in the public because it is in the sense of there is security involved here with what they're going to be dealing with. But basically, high-level overview is just going to enhance the security, look at some of the different vulnerabilities we may be facing with our Office 365 environment. And, like I said, it's a set fee of 17.7. That's going to accomplish what's in your scope of work that was presented. So.
Excellent. And Ms. LePage has reviewed everything. Mr. Beals, everything's good.
That is correct, yes.
Excellent. I'll open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item? Anything online? Okay, I do not see anything online. I'll close public comment. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Your second.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Mrs. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Mr. Metanek.
Thank you.
Next order of business is another contract. This is a request for approval of amendments to agreement for professional services of David Albers, Duneland Consulting LLC for an additional 6 months to October 31st, 2025, and compensate them in the amount not to exceed $40,000. As you guys may be aware, Mr. Albers is our building superintendent. He's been instrumental with helping us get Cloud Permit up and running, kind of troubleshooting things, using his expertise in project management, but also in the world of construction to kind of reflect from the outside in, looking what we need to do better at. So he's been very instrumental in helping out the planning and the building department with permits and honestly just standard operating procedures and things of that nature. Just so give you a little bit of background about what he's doing for us. I would also say that if we do decide to make a motion on this, the motion should be contingent upon the approval of the resolution by the council. Correct, Mr. Beal?
That is correct.
Any questions about this?
Money well spent.
I would 100% agree with that. I'll open it for public comment.
Good morning, board. Scott Melland, 200 Kenwood Place. I fully endorse Dave staying on for another 6 months. But you brought up Cloud Permit, our new system, and that's what I'm here for. I know we're implementing a new system, and there's always some issues when you're implementing new technology. But we have a huge backlog of permitting in the planning department right now. And I know this is a problem we are working actively. I believe there are close, if not over 900 pending permits at this time. When I saw somebody in the planning department shared their screen with me and just to show me what was going on. And it was I really appreciate that. But what I saw were pending permits from companies like Arndt Construction, JB West, other well-known reputable companies in this town where we have a track record. And my question is, why are we making these companies wait? I think for, let's call them vetted companies that the city is well familiar with, who have a reputation for doing good work, that we essentially immediately grant permits for roofs, for window replacements, for siding, to take away that bottleneck. So I just wanted to bring this to the board's attention. We all know it's a revenue for the city, but these delays to simply issue a permit really interfere with commerce and efficiency. And I think it's something we really need to look at. Again, if we have these vetted companies, why are we making them wait 30 days for a window replacement permit or a siding permit or a roofing permit? Now, if it's somebody we don't have a reputation, track record with, maybe that's a different matter. But I think we need to really speed this up, and I think that's one way we could easily do it. They're still subject to final inspection. If something's wrong, it'll be caught. But we've got to take the load off both the people in the planning department and the companies trying to do the work and the people's homes who are being affected by this. So I'm just bringing that to the board's attention. I hope it's something Dave can look at, and I hope you approve his contract. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I hope you and the council all approve this. I really like Dave. I've always been really impressed with him. He's gonna make a great asset to the city, and I hope he stays on longer than 6 months. Money well spent. Thank you.
So I will address the 900 permits. There are 400 that have been issued so far to date. And the issue is that we can't move permits through because we have a hang up. So we are moving permits through. It's just not showing up in Cloud Permit, but we are moving those through. So we be very clear, there are always hangups in those systems. Just because you see that there, we're still working through the problems, and the issues are that we're meeting this week to address them with Cloud Permit. We're not able to move when people are registered as contractors. We have a disconnect between registration and the actual moving them through. And we can't move some of them through. So we have to take off their contractor license registration to move things through. We don't want to do that because we want to make sure everything's tied together. So that's the issue that we're having, and we got to meet with Cloud Permit to get that. But just because they're in there showing, we have been issuing permits. We're back to somewhat paper. So not all the way though. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Okay, hearing none. Anything online? Okay, I'll close public comments. Any other questions? Anything I can clarify for Mr. Albert's contract? Okay, I'll make a motion. I'll make the motion that we approve amendment to the agreement for professional services to Mr. Dave Albers, Duneland Consulting LLC, for an additional 6 months to October 31st of 2025, and compensate them for the total amount of not to exceed $40,000, contingent upon the official resolution being approved by council, I believe at their next meeting. Is that
It's tomorrow night.
tomorrow night? I believe is that the appropriate motion?
Yes, so just be subject to passage of the transfer resolution
That's right.
to fund the contract by the common council.
Excellent. We okay with that?
Support.
Okay. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next order of business is a request for special purchase. The Michigan City Police Department is requesting the special purchase of 8 2023 Dodge Chargers from Galena Automotive Group in the amount of is it Galena Automotive Group in the amount of $271,592.00 after the government discount of $12,466.00 per vehicle. Chief Forker, you're here to tell us a little bit about this.
Again, yeah, good morning, board. Steve Forker, Assistant Chief of Police, Michigan City Police Department. Yes, obviously, we're requesting to purchase 8 2023 Dodge Chargers. Again, in the amount of $271,592. Again, we are in the process of our fleet rotation. We currently have a lease agreement that expires in September. The current buyout on that lease on these said Chargers is $35,000, I think $340 something. So I believe it's in the city's best interest to essentially start over, right? The current vehicles we have are 2023 Chargers for our detective bureau. These essentially, I'd say, are new old stock, right? Dealerships still have this particular, I think it's Galena Automotive Group still has 8 of these Dodge Chargers in stock. Again, and a purchase price less than what we owe on the ones that we've had for 2 years. So I think it's a good agreement for the city to get in. They'll reset and restart warranties and factory warranties and whatnot. Again, they are offering a substantial discount on these. As you can see, the MSRP on these was listed at $46,395. Again, the discount of $12,466. And so the price per is $33,949.
So we'll be keeping the ones that we're buying out.
No, we will not be buying out, right? I don't think it's in our best interest to buy out something that's more expensive that we could buy for new,
Gotcha.
right? So we can buy 8 new for $33,000 or the option would be to buy out something we've had for 2 years at 35,000. And so to me, we're better off starting new and fresh. And again, these are administrative detective cars, so the equipment is an easy transfer for us that we can do it in-house with no additional costs, except maybe a little overtime for our guy that can do that. So again, I think in the best interest for us, we're going to save several $1,000s.
Excellent. Any questions of?
I think it's a great swap.
I think so.
So those present vehicles that are being leased will go back to the dealer
Correct.
and we will buy the
Yep.
to replace them.
Yes.
These are new vehicles?
They're new. They're just new old stock. So they've
Yeah,
been on the lot
that's-
since, 23,
Yeah,
again, just a surplus essentially,
great.
so again, we
Nice.
just did a little research and trying to be obviously the most fiscally responsible that we can be and,
Getting them for
found a good deal, right?
$1,000 less.
and again, we're, obviously trying to move quickly on this and, they're still available. They're dwindling down, but there's some still available and they have 8 that we've kind of locked in with them right now pending, obviously this.
Sounds like a good deal. Any other questions of Assistant Chief Forker? Anything online? Or, I'm sorry, I'll open up for public comment. Public comment?
Hello, Board. Scott Malantur on Kenwood Place. Undoubtedly, this is a good swap. So I don't really have a question for that. Chief addressed one of my questions was the cost to outfit them to police cars, but these aren't patrol officer cars, so they don't need the cage and the full setup. But my concern here is that in the last month, Chief has asked for essentially $600,000 in new vehicles. I believe 2 weeks ago, a request in the amount of roughly $336,000 for, I think it was 8 vehicles then too,
Was funding.
for these vehicles. Okay, that's what I was trying to clarify. Then by all accounts, this is a good deal and we should do it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be very clear. The redevelopment commission approved 330, not to exceed. This is the redevelopment commission only approves the financing for the finance, and then this would be the formal. The Board of Works or Hugh would give the power to basically go and purchase these vehicles, execute the contract. Yes. Any other public comments? Anything online? Okay, seeing nothing online, I'll close public comments. Any other questions, Assistant Chief Forker, before he sits down? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Assistant Chief Forker, for finding the good deals. Our next order of business is a request for mobile food vendor license. This is the Cook Street Cafe, and they are located at 1919 East US Highway 12. Is requesting the approval to renew their mobile food vendor license for 1 year. Are they represented today? Cook Street Cafe online?
I know that he had sent me an email asking me what time the meeting started. So he might be on his way, but I don't know.
Okay.
This is a repeat, like they're renewing his license.
Got it.
Their
Okay,
third-
that's a
third
good point.
year, I think.
Great clarification.
And their COI is all good to go. I know Amber has looked it over and everything, so.
Thank you for clarifying that. Any questions of this? This license would,
Yes, they're usually out there at 4411.
Yes.
So it's just an annual.
yes. I was just about to say that same thing. I was like, they're at the same location. It's 44 Suite 4411. It's kind of their on-site food provider, if you will. Yeah. I don't think they've ever given us any issues or anything of that nature. We've never revoked a permit to my knowledge. So, and they seem to keep everything in a tidy manner there. I'll open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item?
Tommy Kolavic, 1316 Ohio Street. I hope you approve this so they can provide the service for their hotel guests there. It's a really touristy place and, they would just Well, can't we make it so they can leave the food truck there so they don't have to stake it down and bring it there? I mean, that's a really poor and unsuccessful business model for all. Let them leave the food truck there. Thank you.
Any other public comments? All right, I'll close public comments. Entertain a motion from the board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, our final order of business today on our official docket is request for special event, 5K road closure. The Michigan City Zoological Society is requesting road closures for their annual 5K that will be on Sunday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The race will start in Washington Park and go down to Nevada Ave to Lakeshore Drive, then go east on Lakeshore Drive, and then runners will turn around and head back on Lakeshore Drive, going west to South Lake Ave, to Arndt Street, to Oming, to Fogarty Street, to Center Street, and back to Lakeshore Drive and end at Washington Park Zoo. Is there anyone here representing the Zoological 5K today? Anyone here? Okay. I do know that this is an annual event. I believe it's been going on for quite a while now. Madam Clerk, you've had you spoke with the organizer.
Yeah, I spoke with Johnny Stimley, who is the organizer of this. He said they've been doing it for over 30 years, this event. And I had sent out, this was one of the events that I had sent an email to about our new event intake policy and all of that information. And they immediately, within an hour, responded back, because this is within the last 90 days, but this policy was approved within the last 90 days for them. So, and they immediately sent everything over, sent the special event, the emergency, the emergency action plan over. And yeah, they got this to me right away.
Okay. Assistant Chief Forker, in the absence of Captain Jesse, I know that we've done this, but could you just speak to, you guys are aware and are prepared?
Yeah, again, obviously, the request was forwarded to us. The police department has no issue with this. Obviously, it's a reoccurring event that's happened again for over the last 30 years. Again, we would just ask anybody that's requesting road closures and or special events that they submit, right, the emergency action plan 90 days prior, right? There is a new policy in place in which those events are submitted 90 days in advance. Again, just to remind everybody so we can plan accordingly and make sure things are in place for any type of emergency. Again, I think those there's emergency action plans available, right? For examples, if needed, obviously you can reach out to the to Isabel with the Board of Works and or Terry Greetham for those examples. So again, just a reminder of that. But yeah, we have no issue with this one. But
Excellent. Thank you for making those comments. Okay, I'll open up for public comments. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments on this item? Anything online? Any public comments? Okay, I'll close public comments. Any other comments from the board, or would like entertain a motion to
approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. I think we acknowledge that we would probably have a few people or events that probably wouldn't make that 90 just because we put it in place. So, and this probably is one of those ones that kind of was in that fall between the cracks issue. So,
Yeah, it was the weird in between. I think it's just over 60 days. So we
yes.
still got a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Our next order of business is the payroll claims docket. Everyone had time to review that, and if so, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The next order in business is the claims docket for May 5th, 2025. Has everyone had a chance to review that? And if so, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. On to our unfinished business. This was held over from our April 21st, 2025. It is a request for a stop sign. Colin Kahn of 716 York Street is requesting a stop sign or a crossing button on the corner of Oak Street and Belden to allow children and pedestrians to cross safely. And again, this was tabled from our April 21st, 2025 Board of Works meeting. I'm looking at City Engineer Warner. Have you had time to review any of this, or has our captain? Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Assistant Chief Worker. He was moving really quick.
No, I think I know Captain Jesse has reviewed the intersection. We haven't had any reported incidences at that location. I think it's tough, especially at the end of the school day with cars parking there, and becomes visibility is limited, but it's not, I don't think a crossing guard or anything, or a crossing light or button is warranted at that intersection. Again, I think just obviously anytime we're in a school zone, we would just ask people to proceed with caution regardless of the time of day. So
is there any line of sight? Y'all didn't see any line of sight, anything like that?
No, I think, it's stop and proceed with caution, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a stop sign at the intersection.
Sure.
Even north and south of that intersection, both have stop signs. That is, the Belden and York is a T, or sorry, Belden and Oak is a T intersection there.
I believe it's painted too with our
Correct.
keys as well on both sides as well. So theoretically should be
We don't
yielding a little bit there.
It's again, there's the intersections north and south of that both have four-way intersections.
4 ways.
And do we need one on another stop sign or something on the half block essentially, right? I don't think that's warranted.
Okay. So your official recommendation?
That would be the police department's official recommendation.
Okay. Mr. Warner, do you concur?
The only warrant for a stop sign there would be that there is a school right there. I mean, so it can warrant, but again, there's a stop at the north end and a stop at the south end. There's not been any issues there. If the board wants to put stop signs up on both sides, we certainly can say there was a warrant because there's a school there, but there's really been no apparent need for a stop sign there.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think his only concern was because of the school and the kids crossing. I see those crosswalks there, but still.
Any other questions from the board? All right. I'll open up for public comment. Any public comment?
It's me again, Scott Mellon from Concord Place. The other concerns were cars parked past where they're supposed to park and sight lines there, and I don't think that's been addressed yet today. What the investigation turned up there. I of course am wholly against additional stop signs there, but could we do one of those silly things that I'm sure the city engineer would poo-poo? One of those plastic pylons in the middle, the pedestrian crossing or something like that. We see those in other places. I'm sure we'd have to replace it often, but a plastic pylon with one of those signs, school crossing or whatever pedestrian crossing, I've seen those in other places. That would be a step to more signage without it being a stop sign. But we haven't addressed the cars parking where they shouldn't park, or as I understand it, a large black truck, I think was the report. If anybody could address that, that'd be great. Thank you.
I believe that's kind of what I was getting at with the line of sight. Yeah.
I can't recall any pylon in the middle of the road that I've ever poo-pooed, so I'd say that is probably a pretty good option, that a sign in the middle there posted that it's a crosswalk. All vehicles must stop for pedestrians within the crosswalk. I mean, it's a national law, not just state law. So we could do something like that.
Assistant Chief Worker, I'm gonna let you address line of sight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Captain Jesse and the traffic division are aware of the issue, right? And we'll continue to be there, during this, let's say either school inset or beginning session, right, and after school, before school and after school, to help address any parking issues that there may be, past the yellow curbs and whatnot, Okay. So again, we'll be in the area to address those.
So you're saying maybe doing some special enforcement there?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Any other public comments?
Yeah, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. You know, they got those plastic pylons up, like if you go up to downtown Bridgman, Michigan, you know, my little great nephew plays flag football up there, so that might be some, but as far as this one goes, I think if, like my mom always said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think you just let it be and keep going. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Anything online? Okay, I'll close public comments. Are there any? Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President and members of the board, my name is Tom Nazamek. I live at 214 Ann Street. The reason I wanted to address you for a few minutes today is a matter of concern to me and my neighbors. As you are probably aware.
Is this regarding this item?
No, it's different, General.
Okay, let's finish it. We're going to finish up this item first. Hold your thought. Any other comments on, be specific on the request for the stop sign? Any other requests for that? Any other public comments? Okay, I'll close public comments. I think you guys have heard our chief's official recommendation and comments from our city engineer. Are there any further questions for them from the board, or do I hear? Can we entertain a motion or directive to the chief or our city engineer? Any other thoughts?
My concern is specifically the fact that the truck being parked at the stop sign issue, like, yes, we've addressed it, but it's not been specifically addressed. And that's what's causing the issue, not the stop sign, not the yellow lines. And Marsh is a neighborhood park. We do have children there all the time. Not specifically during school times.
I mean, I don't have an issue because Chief Forker said they're gonna, and do more enforcement, which I think is most of the problem with a lot of the issues. And if they're gonna step that up and that's the thing that's gonna happen, I think that's a step in the right direction.
Would you like to keep this on our pending items list and have a report back?
That's what I would like to do.
Okay.
I would like to keep it for a couple months maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to give them another couple weeks to look at this? Yeah, I was gonna say school's out soon, so but to your point, it is a city park. Most people don't know that, but it is a city park, and there are people there all the time. And we just redid that park. We just redid the whole play system there, so there's a lot of people there now, a lot of kids there now.
And they do lunches during the summer for students and families there as well. Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at let's keep this on our pending item list to the first meeting in June.
July?
June.
Okay.
Want to do June? They'll be out of school though. June. First meeting in June. And then will that give you guys time to look at the view? It seems like the line of sight is the issue. I don't know if we need more signs there, but it seems like that line of sight, and I don't know if there's a curb or sidewalk there. I really haven't paid that much attention to it when I drive by. Okay, so maybe we have time to look at those things. Is there a motion to that effect?
Motion, we table this until our first meeting in June.
Okay.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you all for that discussion. Okay, now we're at is there any other pending items? Make sure. Nope. We are at public comment.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. My name is Tom Nazamek. I live at 214 Ann Street. The reason I want to address you for just a few minutes is a matter of concern to my neighbors and me. As you probably are aware, a drug addiction rehabilitation facility is planned for the corner of Ann and Wabash Streets. The facility as planned, would be a two-story dorm-like building housing 20 men from all around LaPorte County. My neighbors and I feel that this is a bad location for a number of reasons. It would be a large building in a neighborhood of single-family homes. It would be only a block and a half from an elementary school. It'd only be 150 yards from school bus stops on Washington Street, which serves students around Michigan City. They gather at 8 a.m. and return at 3 p.m. The presence of this facility would be a permanent sign to everyone, including our young people, that this is a high-crime area, which it certainly is not, but it would affect housing values. It would increase the cost of our homeowners and personal liability insurance. So in addition to the personal safety of our residents, its location close to the school and school bus stops, we feel that it is a bad location for a rehab housing facility. There are many other parcels of land owned by Franciscan, which could be used to satisfy our safety concerns. We can and must do better as a community to find a better location for this facility. We'd appreciate any advice you have to give us on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you for comments. Any other public comments at this time? Any other public comments at this time?
Yeah, Tommy Kolovic, 1360 Ohio Street. Just to respond to Shannon Eastman, she said, Thursday I went and got my park stickers, and the first day I showed up there about 9:20. There were about 15 people in front of me, and I think it opened up at 10 a.m. and it went really smooth. I was out of there at 10:08. And when I left, there was about 20 people behind me. They had two women working there. Yeah, I handed her my property tax bill because I get one from my mom because we're joint owners in my house, and I gotta get my 5 stickers, and it went real smooth. We gave it to her. She's the lady that takes the money. She hands to the other girl next to her. She gives out the tickers and our registration back. I was out of there. They're real quick and fast. I also want to remind everybody they're starting the compost pickup this week. But this week they switched it. They're doing it on the same day as the refuse day instead of 3 days after the refuse day. And I want to say thank you and thanks to those women that work up there. They're going to be really busy the next month.
Absolutely. Any other public comments? Mr. Hallahan?
Good morning. Ernie Hallahan, 302 Gladys Street. Have been here for a while. One comment I don't understand about the Woodland Crossing tracks. They just keep continuing that. It was supposed to have been done in March. And now here it is on almost June, and nothing has been done with it. I don't understand what the holdup is. And the second thing is the street department. I've called numerous times about a big hole in the street out on Warranty Road, just where Krieger Road ends into Warranty. Warranty comes off of Michigan Boulevard and then picks up. And just as you turn off the Warranty onto Warranty from Michigan Boulevard, there's a large part of the street where the big hole broke off. And I have called numerous times, over a month now. And I hit it the other day going out there. But it's going to gradually just keep breaking off till it gets into the middle of the street. It needs patched. And my alley between Emma and Gladys, I called them. My neighbor up on the hill called them. They come out and patch a couple of holes, and then that's it. They keep going. They don't. Down behind our chief of police's house, there's numerous big potholes behind his house in the alley, and they didn't even bother patching them. They just went on, and down at the end of the alley, they patched a couple there. So they've been out there twice. I don't know what the deal is, why they're not patching all of the holes in the alley. Thank you.
Esteemed board and president, Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. I have several things I'm going to try to hit you with. I've recently seen new painting, road and curb painting around town. I see a lot of new yellow, and I just want to say, hey, it looks much better, and I like seeing that. Let's keep up that good work. To amplify Mr. Kolovic's comment about compost pickup starting, I would remind people we have new rules. No more than 4 cans of material, and no paper bags unless they're in a can. Just on my way here this morning, I passed a row of about a dozen or more soggy paper bags on Tilden, and somebody in my neighborhood has 6 or 7 cans of compost waste. So we still need to get the word out, and our people need to not pick that stuff up and leave a note with those people or something. Concerning Mr. Tom's concern about the halfway house, I don't think that's really the right recovery house.
Respite is what we call it.
Respite house. I'd like clarification. I thought it was a 1-story structure, but there are 2-story homes in that neighborhood in any case. The sheriff of Porter County spoke very strongly in favor of this. LaPorte County doesn't have a respite house. And if you recall the presentation that you may or may not have seen by the sponsors, you need to put these facilities where the need is. And sadly, a map of that neighborhood is dotted with ODs. So we need to put this where the need is. I'm sure I would feel the same way if I lived within a couple blocks of there, but this is addiction is a problem that affects all demographics. And we can't just put this on the edge of the county at 400 or the edge of the city at 400 North or something. That's not where the people are. These are not just any people in recovery. These are the people that have been pretty highly vetted, and the hope for success is great with these people. Being within that's not fair. No, I reclaim my time. So it's important that we have a facility like this. There's a need, and being within a certain yardage of school bus stops, these are not pedophiles. These are not criminals. These are people in recovery that we're hoping that are actually entering the workforce while they're there, who are actually becoming productive members of society while they're there. And I think it's imperative that our city and county support this. And kind of my 2 final points. I'm really tired of hearing about the railroad crossing. We have no control over it. We've asked them over and over and over. They'll fix it. I would suggest people drive over it at above 20 miles an hour. You'll find it works just fine. If you slow down to a crawl, it's going to act like an Amish buggy going over the railroad tracks. Just drive and it's okay. And my final point, I think we should have a strong preference for holding events at our 7th Street municipal, what are we calling that?
Space.
The space at 7th Street, I think we should encourage people having events to be there for a number of reasons. We could have semi-permanent emergency action plans in place. And I saw an aerial photo of the recent Shelf Brew Fest. It seems to me it would fit on at that space with 7th Street closed between 7th and Washington. And, again, I think we should have a strong preference for that. It would simplify planning, emergency planning. It would build synergistic energy to the downtown people, stores there. And again, a strong preference for that. The Brewfest, for example, on what was that, 5th Street? Pretty soon that's going to be construction zone, and they won't be able to be there anyway. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Anything online? Anything online? Okay, good. I'll close public comments. Mr. Warner, or Engineer Warner, do you have a comment?
Well, let me just respond to a couple of things Mr. Howell
Perfect.
brought up. I've been in contact with Jeff Reeder, who was a subcontractor to CSX on the layout for all their crossing work last year. He provided all the traffic control and the scheduling of those things. Mr. Reeder has been trying to get scheduled with CSX as to when they're going to return. I showed Gene earlier the photos and things of those crossings. We have a crossing that was removed. They fixed Buffalo last year. For whatever reason, CSX had to come back and do some tie work on the rail, and they pulled one of the crossings, the north one, out, and all that rubber is still setting along the side. So they've got Buffalo to do, and they've got Woodland to do from the original schedule. So I spoke with Jeff this morning. He still didn't hear back from CSX. So as soon as he hears back, I'll get a schedule for when those things are gonna happen and get back to the board and the police and everything when those works are gonna be done. But hopefully they'll be done here soon. We just have to find out from CSX when they can get a crew back here. So I'm working with Jeff, who's gonna be doing the traffic control on that as their sub. And as far as the pothole at Krieger, I just got an email from Sean Smith this morning that he's going to be looking at that area and take care of it.
Excellent.
Good.
While we're at it, I'll look back in the back. Mr. Greetham, Mr. Williams, y'all have anything? You good? Okay. I just wanted to give you time if you needed it. While we're at it, close public comments. I'm going to take the time to introduce Miss Dominique Edwards. She is right here. Dominique, come up here. Miss Edwards is our new planning director. Today is her first day. And so go easy on her today. But this is our new planning director, Ms. Dominique Edwards. Dominique, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Yeah,
Good morning,
introduce yourself.
everybody. Well, it's Dr. Edwards. So I just defended. I just defended my research in the last week. So I've freshly been a new community psychologist for the last week. So my background is in biological sciences and urban planning. I was born and raised here in the Eastport neighborhood. And I'm just very happy to be home.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you. Absolutely. Dominique, we're happy to have you here. I am happy to have you here. So, any other board comments? Any other board comments? Sure, there are.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve Miss Edwards as our Dr. Edwards as our no. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? I'll second it.